The 365 Pro Wrestling.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 365 Pro Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Eddie Osborne, and today we don't have one guest, we have two guests. Please, first welcome the last ever commissioner in PWA, Corey Spade. How you doing, man?
Doing great, Eddie. Thanks again for having me on the 365 Wrestling Podcast.
Thanks so much for being here. And the second man on this three-man team today, he owns MCW. He is too magnificent, Nicky Martin.
Hello, gentlefolk, and B-roll, Corey.
Ooh.
Last ever commissioner because they closed because you were so horrible at it, along with your acting skills. You know, let me tell you something, Mr. Spade. The universe knew that your acting was so incredibly bad that Mother Nature created a virus so that you had to stop acting to save us all.
Wow.
And now we're stuck in quarantine. So I blame you, Corey Spade. You want to know where COVID-19 came from? You just got to look in the mirror, son.
Oh, boy.
I mean, he's the last commissioner because we closed shop to start up something new and fresh. But he did many good things for PWA, as did yourself. How are you guys doing today? Like, first we're gonna go to, as you affectionately call him, Nick, B-roll. Why B-roll?
Do you know what B-roll is, Eddie Osborne?
I'd like you to explain it, though.
It's the stuff that they keep just in case they need it. You see, they have the A+ stuff that they put in a movie, and then they film stuff for, you know, deleted scenes or bloopers or whatever, and that's why Corey Spade is B-roll, because that's all they use him for.
Wow.
I have proof.
Oh.
I mean, we can't see proof, so it's all talking now. Corey, what are you saying about all this? It started hot. I wanted to ask you guys about some of your influences, stuff like that, and you're getting attacked out of the gate.
Well, you know, the thing is, and this happens to a lot of people that are kind of like over the hill, you know. Somebody gets into a new career and just starts doing some acting, gets some more popularity. It does create a lot of jealousy. And I can understand that. I mean, you had Nicky Martin was a manager in PWA and now 365, struggling to find a place and find somebody that's worthy of a championship. You know, I don't really blame him for that. He's a former commissioner. He was the commissioner when I got there. And it's almost like as soon as I got there, Nicky Martin's stock went down, way down. You know, and I understand that, Nicky.
No,
it's natural for you to, you know, call me names like B-roll, even though I'm a huge star.
First of all, your whole spiel, you got one part right, and that part is that you're over the hill. Yes, perhaps you did some good things for PWA, and perhaps you did some good things for 365. By the way, in case you're wondering why I didn't show up at 365 when I was supposed to show up at 365, it was laundry day. I had stuff that I had to do, you know. And I don't air my dirty laundry for the public to hear like y'all or like you, where, you see, you were commissioner to stroke your own ego. That's why you were commissioner. I was commissioner because I, unlike you, care about the fans of this great organization and wanted to give them something to be proud of. You just wanted to wear your stupid little red hat and make PWA great again.
See, the crazy thing is, the second time Corey was commissioner, things were a lot different around there. But let's not talk about that past. Let's talk about 365. So far, neither of you guys have actually debuted for 365. We had Corey in the crowd, and everyone's asking questions. What's happening? Nicky Martin apparently couldn't get his mom to do his laundry, so he couldn't come. So what's going on? What are you guys' plans coming up in 365?
Well, first of all, The laundry thing I know is a lie because I've been in the locker rooms with Nicky Martin, and you could smell that that's a lie. He doesn't do laundry. All right. So my plans were, I was retiring. I'd been hurt and I got cleared to come back, but I was doing acting. But I was still at the shows. But then Nicky Martin started chirping me on Twitter, and he started insulting me a lot about my movies and not being in wrestling. So all I kept saying was, I'm going to the shows. I'm there. You could show up and you could talk to me. It kind of got around and people were asking. And I went to 2 365 pro wrestling shows. No Nicky Martin. People in the crowd were asking me, hey, where's Nicky? I thought he said he was coming here to face you and stuff like that. No, I don't know where Nicky is. Apparently doing laundry. But so I didn't really have a plan, but all I wanted to do was face to face, come tell me what's the problem. Don't just go on Twitter. Tell me.
Well, I guess this is your chance, Nicky Martin. What's your problem with Corey Spade?
My problem with Corey, let me tell you something. There was a time when I had utmost respect for you. You were coming out, you were taking names, you were kicking the living daylights out of your so-called brother over there, and that was enjoyable. I kind of enjoyed watching you, come up with different ways to, destroy him, as talented as he is. It was great. Let me tell you something. When you started pandering to the fans again, you switched your name from Corey Hart to Corey Spade. I guess, that's your fantasy to become some heartthrob singer wannabe, but you switched from singing into acting because you couldn't even get that right. But that's okay. It's okay. So that's my problem. You see, you should have stayed retired, but, I wanted you to come out of retirement because I have plans. I'm taking notes. I'm paying attention. I know all of the talented stars that are in 365. I knew all the talented stars that were in PWA, some of which have moved over to 365. So you want to talk about my stock going down? You just wait, because when I come with my list of possible clients and I make them an offer that they can't refuse, I'm Italian, so you should know that reference. When I give them those offers, you're going to see my stock rise, and I'll prove to you exactly why I'm the champion of managers and the manager of champions all over again for the 365 generation. Gentlefolk.
Gentlefolk. That's a new one to me, but we're going to let you keep that. Now, Corey Hart's laughing in the background, and I love Spade. I call him Spade. I call him Hart. I call him both. But let's rewind a little bit now, and let's talk about who your influencer were getting into pro wrestling. And I'm stuttering all of my words because I'm like, wow, these guys hate each other and I'm not sure what they're going to do. But let's rewind and let's talk about who got you into the business. Corey, let's start with you, and then we'll go to Tricky Nicky.
I can tell you a story about how serious I've always been about professional wrestling, and let's go way back to the 80s. And I had a ticket to go watch WrestleMania 4 at Maple Leaf Gardens on the big screen TV, closed circuit television. And I guess my parents got angry with me for something that they might have thought I did. And my dad ripped up my ticket and I didn't get to go. So I ran away from home. And so the next day I showed up at my school in my street clothes, which was a Catholic school. So I was supposed to be in my uniform. Instead, I have a Hulk Hogan jacket on and my jeans. I'm standing in the hallway talking to my friend at his locker, and the vice principal started coming down. So I said, hide me in your locker. He tried to hide me in his locker. I got caught. I got in a lot of trouble. So 1 year later, WrestleMania 5 came. I had a ticket to go watch it on the big screen. I went to watch it at 15 years old. And then I never went back home again because I didn't want anybody to stop me from missing the show again. That's when I left home at 15. That's how much I had a passion for professional wrestling. Nobody's going to tell me I can't watch it. Nobody's going to tell me what to do, until finally the one day came where I started training with Mike Hart, Matthew Hart, Smith Hart was around, and got into the business. And I just wanted to do the best that I can do at everything that I do. And I care for it a lot.
Awesome, man.
That's how I got started.
Nicky Martin?
I won't take away from your passion there, Corey Spade. But let me tell you something. That passion is exactly why all of us are where we are right now. And I'll talk about when I started watching wrestling, it used to be with my grandfather. And I used to sit on his knee, and I've been told that I was 2 years old, and it grew and it grew and it grew from there. But you know what? Growing up, when I was younger, I had a lot of different things go down, and I was bullied a little bit. So slowly but surely, I kind of overcame that. And the savior for me was always professional wrestling, because every weekend I was home, I was watching Cavalcade, I was watching AWA, I was watching, any kind of WWF or WWE now programming that I could find. And the people that I gravitated toward were always seemed to be the underdogs or the heels. So a lot of people wonder where I got my name from. It's from Magnificent Baracco, and I loved watching Prime Time and the antics from him and people like Rowdy Piper and Rick Rude and Rick Martel. I could name so many, and I always wanted to be somehow like them. And listen to people like Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby the Brain Heenan. Bobby is my hero. And Bobby is always going to be my hero. So every time I'm at ringside, I try to model myself after him. I've had comparisons from a gentleman by the name of Jimmy King to people like the Grand Wizard, a little bit of Mr. Fuji. So I may be a little bit of a troublemaker, but my passion was always for the underdog. So, and I'm an underdog myself. I come in. I may walk a little funny. Sometimes I talk a little funny, but I always try to get the job done. And even if I can't get the job done, somebody's always there to give me that push, and I always find a way to get it done.
This one time I literally pushed him into the ring. We've had a lot of fun, me and Nicky Martin. But now, that with COVID-19 happening and things really slowly opening up again and no wrestling fans at the arenas, we might not see fans in the arenas till like Survivor Series. So this is my question. If you could each have 5 people on your team to manage, who would they be and why? Now, they could be anyone from WWE, WCW, AWA, New Japan, anybody in the world, living or dead. What's your team going to be? Nick, I'm going to throw to you right away.
My team? We're talking 5 people?
5 people. The old classic 5-on-5.
Survivor Series. Alrighty. Well, I'm gonna start with a gentleman by the name of Kurt Hennig. And Kurt Hennig, he made his name in AWA. He had some great feuds with some great people. But I'm also going to surprise you, because I'm going to go with an opponent of his for number 2, and that man's going to be Nick Bockwinkel.
Nick
Bockwinkel was also a huge part of AWA, and if you haven't noticed, AWA was always my favorite growing up. If you want to talk modern, number 3 is going to be a gentleman by the name of Canada's own Kevin Owens. And I think if you add in, another person, it's going to have to be, oh my goodness, maybe Rick Martel. So the Canadian connection, if you will. And then to top it all off, I got to go with Ric Flair.
There we go. So we got Hennig. We got, who else we have there? We got Kevin Owens. We got
Nick Bockwinkel.
Sorry, I didn't write any of this down, people. Listen to them, and it's going to be a good thing. So again, just quickly, Nick, who are your picks? We got Hennig, Bockwinkel, Owens. Who's the fourth pick?
And Flair.
Martel and Flair. What a group. Corey, who would you combat that group with?
I would take the British Bulldogs, Davey Boy
Both
Smith, Dynamite Kid.
Nice.
The original Hart Foundation, Bret Hart, Jim Neidhart, and Booker E, Eddie Osborne. We win. It's already done.
So, yeah, the check mark already went down on the thing. Now, when you were watching wrestling as youths, who stood out to you the most and why?
Well, for me, Nicky Martin said that he looked up to the heels and stuff, and that's the kind of guy he is. He's dishonest. He looks for shortcuts. My heroes were Hulk Hogan. Train, say your prayers, eat your vitamins. The only times he cheated is because it was deserved. He was being cheated against. Tito Santana, guys like that. Bob Backlund. I looked up to these guys. They were doing it. It was a sport. It's a competition. Who's the best man? Who's going to win? Although I did appreciate the managers in a sense because of, not because they were dirty, but because they wanted their man to win so badly that they were willing to put themselves out there, even though they were smaller or they're chubby and they would get their ass kicked. I admired their passion for the business, I guess you could say. But it was always, Tito Santana, Hulk Hogan, Junkyard Dog was good with the kids. I wanted to be like those guys. I didn't want to be a dirty cheater, like Nicky. What do you think about that, Nicky? No, Nicky has nothing to say. See, that's the thing. Nicky's got nothing to say unless he's got maybe a script. Maybe he wrote some stuff out in front of him, and I didn't get to that. He can't think fast.
Hey, first of all, I'm not an A-lister like you, where I gotta have a script in front of me to do everything. I like ad lib. But if you want to talk about who influenced me, the number one person that I can remember when I was, first getting into things was Jesse Ventura, and how outspoken and how just incredible he was with how quick on his feet he was, and I gravitated to him. And then you look at people like Rowdy Roddy Piper. Again, somebody that's, if you put a microphone in his hand, he can go on for hours. If you put a microphone in my hand, I can go on for hours too. It won't be as good as Piper, but that's what I want to try and, make sure happens as far as, promos and everything else. So there you go.
All right. Well, I agree. You won't be as good as Piper. No one will be. He's the man. But now, when you're looking at talent, when you want to be part of that show and you want to bring one of your guys in, or if you're working with somebody who's already on the roster, what do you guys look for in a talent? Like, what do you think you bring to the table, and what accommodates you? What makes it the package for you guys? Obviously, we'll go with Corey first because I know his answer.
Well, maybe you know my answer. What I'm looking for, of course, it's somebody that has passion, but also maybe something missing. I think there might be something missing that I can add to make it the perfect package. For example, Mike Hart, my brother, he was really getting beat up by a group, the Lilac family back then. You had Lenny Lilac, you had Sarge, you had Chief Ade, you had Princess, and it wasn't fair. He's just outnumbered and bullied. And Nicky, I can sympathize with what you said about bullying. I absolutely cannot stand bullies. And, I think that's a subject that's really going to be coming around today. We won't get into that right now, but, bullying hurts a lot of people. So I thought, I can come in. Mike has all this talent, but he's not getting to use it because he's getting outnumbered. He's getting beat up. So I came in with an idea and a plan. And what happened? Bam. We destroyed the Lilac family, and Mike became Ontario champion. And even in the future, we had Joey Allen, who honestly actually doesn't need any help, but for some reason he seemed like kind of stuck. It seemed like nothing was happening with him because he was with Tex Lexus. So I bought the contract, and when I added my flair to Joey and my ideas and whispering in his ear and giving some advice with the power and talent that he already had, look what happened. We won every championship in Ontario, didn't we, Nicky Martin? Right? So I look for somebody that has the talent already, but can I add something? If I can't add something, I don't want to just, hook up with somebody. But if I can see I can add something to this person and make them a champion and a star, that's what I'll do.
All right, Nicky, what do you say on that?
Slow clap for Corey Spade. Woo woo. First of all, I look for somebody that already has confidence. I look for somebody that has charisma. I look for somebody that knows what they want and might not really know how to get there. A lot of people make the mistake when they come out and they're hungry. And I like hunger. But when they come out and they're hungry, they want to pander to the fans. They think they're going to get, however loud the fan is going to be, they're going to be able to feed off that. And that's not necessarily true, see, because the fans can like and dislike whatever they want, but fans are fickle. If you do something that a fan doesn't like, then they either like you or they don't like you. So I gotta step in. You see, when I see somebody going down that wrong path, I say, "Hey, you know what you need? You need passion. You need to be ruthless, and that ruthlessness is what gets you done. And it doesn't, it doesn't hurt if you look good while you're doing it. Look at people I have history with. I have Mr. Atlantis. I have history with Eazy-E. I have history with the gentleman that's hosting this program, and all of them exude confidence, and all of them know what they want, and that's why I am the manager of champions.
Actually, Eddie Osborne, I was in his corner when he won the championship in BC. Did you ever do that, Nicky? No. And, I take issue with what you say about the fans. Don't talk about the fans like that. The relationship I've had with the fans, once they all paid $5 each just to hit me, you know that? So they got a chance to hit me. They were lining up. That's how much they hated me. But, I took it, and I respect them. And it came around. I think they appreciate me. Because no matter what happened, if they liked me or didn't like me, I always appreciated them. I don't call them names. I've never called them fickle. I've never told them even to shut up. I've never said anything negative towards the fans. That's where I take issue from. So, I don't know what you want to get at, Nicky Martin. When 365 Pro Wrestling opens up again, when we're allowed to have live shows, I'm not really sure what you want me to do. But if you have some kind of a challenge or something, I mean, the biggest issue I have is when you insult the fans that buy the tickets to come to see everybody. I don't like that. So if there's a way, if I can shut you up somehow, I don't know. I don't know what it is. What do you want me to do?
Whoa,
well, why don't we talk to the management?
What about a tuxedo match?
Well, can Nicky's mom wash a tuxedo for him, or is she going to do your laundry? No.
See, this is how I like this. You see, the management's going to get a really, really nice Armani tuxedo, and then you are going to lose a match. And just to go back with regards to the fact that you took fans' hard-earned money because they hit you, I would hit you for free, and I would enjoy it, and I would do it over and over and over again. But if you want to. I don't even think you own a tuxedo. Can you afford a tuxedo, Corey Spade?
I have 4 tuxedos.
4. All right, gentlemen. Let's not go over number of tuxedos here, even though I don't have one. But you guys are having a lot of fun. You guys obviously don't like each other very much, and it's very much Corey respects the fans, and Nick kind of not so much. But if you had to pick somebody to manage nowadays who you've never, ever managed before, who would they be and why? Or maybe a couple people if it's kind of tough to pick one person. Nick, let's see what you got.
You want to know who I would manage that I've never, ever managed before?
Yep.
That I've never managed before. You know what? I am going to think about that, and I am going to switch it over to Mr. Spade while I do so.
Okay. Well, I don't have to think about it. I would manage the beautiful Bia.
Nice.
Because I've never managed a female wrestler. And, oh, boy, if she was under my tutelage, it would be Joey Allen all over again.
She was already a 10-time Elite Women's Champion. You think she could be the 365 Pro Wrestling Global Champion?
10-time PWA champion. Well, that sounds like a big number, but she would never lose it, so it would be a one-time.
There we go. But
what I could do is what I tried to do with my brother. I don't hate my brother, but he didn't have that meanness. He didn't have that edge. That's why I had to, I had to slap some sense into him. I needed him to be tough. He was too soft and too friendly. You got to be tough in there. And Bia is very popular, very friendly. But I think I could give her that little extra edge of toughness. And once she had that, unstoppable.
Not a bad pick at all. Nicky Martin, what are you saying?
Thought about it. I had to listen to the dribble in the background while I was thinking, so it was kind of a distraction. But I'm going to go with your best friend, Eddie Osborne. I'm going to go with Roughhouse Jeff Black.
Oh, me and Jeff don't like each other. We're each other's best, worst friends.
Oh boy, something else for Jeff Black to complain about. Thanks, Nicky.
Jeff Black has shown how ruthless he can be, and I think with the right direction, he could be a 10 billion time 365 champion and all this 10-time stuff. You see, you have a limit, Corey Spade. You want to sit there and say that Bea is going to only be a 10-time champion? She should be a 30-time champion, but you don't have...
one time.
Yeah, I said one time. It's not going to lose it 10 times. Yeah, it's not going to lose.
That's ridiculous. You don't have the ruthlessness that I do.
That you expect to lose your championships 10 times, right? I don't.
That means no, because that would also mean that they've won it 10 times, and then they'd be that you're. I'm not talking to you about this anymore. Switch the question.
Let's talk about Jeff Black for a minute. Jeff Black is, we just put a match out tonight, the same day this is being released, of him and Josh Alexander from when they were having their wars. And what a hellacious match. Like, Jeff Black really stepped it up, and Josh Alexander went into the hardcore zone. So if you guys haven't been checking our YouTube page, make sure to get on that. It's youtube.com/C/365 Pro Wrestling, and we have a ton of matches out. 1,300 matches. Now, if you can't find something you don't like there, you'll be my favorite person. But if you find something you love, you'll be my favorite person too. So now, looking back at some of the matches you guys have managed or participated in, what's been your favorite match? Corey, you wrestled a few times. Nick, you've been in some huge matchups with some really great talent. What are you guys saying?
If we're going to go back to Jeff Black for a second, I have to agree. The last time I saw him with the Temple before COVID came and shut us down, Jeff Black is phenomenal. He's not somebody I even want to be in the ring against now. He's that good, but I have been his partner. I have been his enemy. I know him pretty well, and that's somebody that I'm definitely going to be watching out for when 365 starts up again. I agree with you on that, Nicky. Jeff Black he's a powerhouse.
There we go. Yeah. First smart thing you said today.
Oh, the other thing was about how you smell, right? Yeah. Sorry.
I got to go back. I got to go back and rewind a little bit, because I'm gonna choose a female that I would manage, and that female is Jody Threat. So if ever you get a chance to manage Bea, there's the challenge right there, because Jody can certainly give her a go. As far as matches that are my favorite, that
you've been part of,
that I've been a part of,
yeah,
the match that I like the best, and that really kind of resonated with me, and I learned so much, albeit with the guy on the other side of the ring that I had to argue with for almost the entirety of the whole matchup, was when we had the United Front take on the Temple. And anytime anybody has a chance to work with the Temple, by all means, it's going to be a great match. And I think my guys had a chance to learn and really had a chance to show off a little bit with them on the other side of the ring, and we even won the tag titles.
You know what you guys did, but since PWA ended, Clay Wilson's come in. He's lost a few matches, but he's become mean. And then we have Brandon Jacobs, who's kind of went more of the hardcore route and actually scored a win over Jeff Black and Warhead last time in Guelph. So both guys are still there doing some really good things. And then yourself hasn't been put back in there yet. What are you thinking about that? Do you want to be with the United Front again? Or is this just, it's they're doing their thing and then you're going to find your way in somewhere else?
I think, honestly, I'm going to go, and I like I said, I've been taking notes, so I'm going to do a little bit of scouting. I have a gentleman in mind that I think could be straight to the top, and it's going to surprise everybody. But you know what? I think the man that they call Warhead and Nicky Martin could really cause a stir in 365 going forward.
The only problem I see with that is he loves the fans, because he joined the Temple when they were not loved. And he had to leave because he couldn't deal with them not loving the fans. So So with you hating the fans so much, I mean, I know we've got yin and yang, and sometimes that completes things. But what are you thinking, Corey?
Well, talking about Warhead brings up actually one of my favorite matches that I've been involved with, as to your earlier question, was when I defeated Tex Lexus and got to shave his head along with my wife, Irene. She got to help too because he had embarrassed her earlier. And Warhead is what a stand-up guy that turned against the Temple and help myself and help Irene with that too. I mean, I'm sure he enjoyed helping to shave the head of Tex Lexus as well. One of my
what a
favorite
moment
moments
that was.
of all
the
time.
crowd was going nuts. And
Awesome.
you guys shaved his head, and Irene got some revenge. That was huge. That was like a Michelle when she got the big stunner in there, and Eileen got the win. It was just those type of things were huge. And that stunner was on Corey Spade.
Yeah, and you know, on that, so I treated Alien Habanero really badly, and I was calling him the illegal Alien Habanero, and I wanted him fired. I wanted him out, and he sure embarrassed me when Michelle got involved and knocked me out. But you know, even through all of that, on the Weekly Whisper, Alien put me in the top 5 managers of all time. Nicky, where were you on that list? I forget.
I'm not going to talk about that, Corey Spade. We're trying to keep this a professional conversation. I don't really care about Alien Habanero's opinion, as talented as he is. I don't know where he gets all his energy from, but either way, let me tell you something. I don't know how you ended up on the top 5 of anything. It certainly isn't going to be for your acting skills.
Wow.
Now, Corey has been in some movies. What about yourself, Nicky Martin? Have you ever starred in any movies?
I'm the star of Cable 14 in Hamilton.
There you go. So he's doing big things there. We got Corey Spade doing big things as well. Now,
Is that that porn channel?
oh, Jesus.
I'm not sure. Sorry, I heard that somewhere.
I'm a professional, Corey Spade, or Hart, or whatever you're going by. You know what? I have a question for you, Eddie. I'm switching gears. When am I going to get to come out to BC? You got some great talent out there in PWA BC, and I happen to have 2 sisters on my radar as well. So I'm not only going to have a PWA Women's Champion in Kitchener and Guelph, I'm not going to have, more people to win the titles. By the way, I'm coming for the big gun this time around. We've won the tag belts, we've won the hardcore belts, we've won the internet championship. Paul Wright's done some crazy, awesome stuff. We did that 14-man thing in List Howell, whatever. But I'm coming for the big gun. That big championship's going to be mine because whoever I manage is going to be top-notch talent and is going to end up with that belt. But then I'm going to come to BC and the women's tag title. Do you even have a women's tag title? Because if you don't, you should. And the Hall sisters are going to win that too.
Man, well, the Hall sisters are extremely talented, and I love those guys. They're very good and always great on a show. Great to hang out with afterwards. And it was awesome when Corey got to actually make it down to BC. They drove across the country. They were doing a trip, and they came to BC. And he was on a couple shows. He stayed at the school for a couple of days. We had a really good time. And it would be great if you could make it out. We had some memories that I won't say on here, but it would be hard to talk. Just because of just circumstances. But
good times. Good times.
Always good times. But it'd be great if you come out here. It'd be great if we could do a PWA or a 365, BC versus Ontario. If you guys were going to pick your team for that, who would you pick? I'm not sure who would represent your team if you had to have maybe your main event, your women's match, your tag team match, and your hardcore match, and then 2 singles matches. So we're talking like six matches here. Who's on your team? If it's the opening contest, who are you taking? We'll go with Corey, then we'll go with Nick.
I'd like to bring back Lance Malibu.
Nice. All right, Nick, can you say?
Yep.
Lance Malibu.
Yeah, I know he's with you, but not anymore.
He did a really good job. He won the Pure Wrestling Championship in the Battle Royal there in the over the top rumble as we have every year.
He
The
started
Golden
at number one as well.
And he started at number one with Mikey. So that was pretty amazing. That's a feat that's never been done, I don't believe, before. We've had people from 3 and 4 win it, but never won it or 2. And Lance did that. So that's a great first choice. Who are you taking, Nicky?
I'm going to take Judas.
Judas Icarus. Judas might be on the BC side of things.
Yeah, what are you saying?
Out here a little bit more. But who are you going to take?
For Ontario, or are you looking for BC?
I'm looking.
I can give you both.
All right. Well, you pick the BC guys, and we'll have Corey pick the guys from Ontario. Then.
Can I say, when you're talking about predictions and things like that, that reminds me of how bad Nicky Martin is at predicting results.
What are you talking about?
Oh my God!
I got 100%.
Terrible. 100% wrong.
Yes. No.
You're horrible.
We haven't done pick'ems in a while, but we might have to again. They're very fun. We like to talk about the matches a little bit, usually WWE events, and then we just pick who are the winners and losers. And there's no money on the line or anything like that, just pride. And Nick's been hit a few times in that pride on the pick'ems, but so have I. So
yeah, I remember. Sorry, Nicky. I remember way back. I heard he picked Mario Mancini to win Intercontinental title. That never happened. Brooklyn Brawler to win the big belt too. Nope.
Hey,
not very smart.
Distance Steve Lombardi.
Oh, Red Rooster was your favorite wrestler, Nicky.
He was part of the Heenan family.
Oh yeah.
What a family that was. Let's throw it back to the question. Who would you take as your second match?
I would take Mike Hart as well.
Yeah, well, Mike Hart would be squashed by Brody King.
Oh boy.
See, that guy's never wrestled BC for me before. You'd kill me. But I like that answer. Brody King, one tough dude. Big dude. So, as a tag team, who would you take as your tag team, Nicky Martin?
The Hall sisters. We went through this, Eddie Osborne.
Oh, sorry. I'm asking a question for you to answer to all these people.
I'll bring back Derek Platinum and Jimmy King, the modern day Warriors, the originals, back together. They would kick some ass today.
Version 1. There we go.
Version 1.
Now in your hardcore match, who are you taking?
I'll take Warhead.
Warhead?
Yeah.
You can't take Warhead.
No, he's going to be on my side.
Fine. You want to take Warhead? I'm taking Eddie Osborne.
Oh, no, I'm the hardcore guy. I forgot about that. I like doing that. Want to? Yeah. In the ladies' match. And you know what? We've got to try, and I'm hoping that we can have more than one ladies' match soon. We get just more and more, maybe 3 matches on a card or something like that. There's so many talented ladies out there right now. It's amazing.
I wish Crystal Banks would come back. I think we could have done a lot of good work together.
For sure.
Yep.
And
I'm thinking Nicole Matthews would have a heyday with Ms. Banks.
For sure. She's super talented. Amazing, actually. Her and Judas had a match that was phenomenal, and she's wrestled so many great talents. And I really enjoy, locally, her matches and her series with Bishop when she was leading up to winning the ECCW championship. That was huge and groundbreaking at the time. So that was awesome. Now, for your main event, who's your main event guy?
You know what? If just thinking about it, I mean, Lax Siddhartha and all those guys against the Temple. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, that'd be a really nice action.
That'd be amazing.
Matchup versus the Temple. I like that matchup.
Now, I would not pick Joey Allen for the main event because actually I don't appreciate the way he treated me at the end there. He knocked me out. I mean, that wasn't even fair. He's a lot bigger than me, and it was kind of a cheap shot. But that was terrible. We never addressed that. Nicky had something to do with that, probably even. Yeah, look at him. Right?
I don't know.
Yeah, main event. I'll pick my main event is going to be Super K.
Nice.
Yeah, I have some ideas for Super K.
I'm going to go with Nolan James.
Man, I thought he'd say Eazy-E, but Nolan James, that's great. I like that too. Let's talk about it. Last time we saw you, Corey, with Joey Allen, what happened?
I don't know. I don't know what happened. We're standing in front of each other, and I can hardly remember it clearly. I became commissioner again, and so Joey figured now he doesn't have to work anymore. I'm just going to hand him all the opportunities. And I said, it's not going to be like that, Joey. You're going to have to earn everything like you can. I guess he took exception to that, and he hit me so hard with that clothesline and then the power bomb that kind of led to my demise, because I had quite a few hospital visits to deal with. I wasn't expecting that. I don't know why he did that to me after all I did to him. That was brutal. And then, my brother, Mike Hart, came back that night, and that's what he got to see and had to carry me back for help after. I don't know. I didn't appreciate that. Joey he knocked the crap out of me.
And Joey's pretty upset these days. When 365 was going to crown the first ever global champion, he was not in that main event, and he's currently 3-0, and he was quite upset. So I'm sure he'll be something to deal with in the future here. Nicky Martin, you've done a whole bunch of big things lately. You're looking to do bigger things. You're on TV right now. You're doing HWE and MMCW. What else do you want to achieve in the next year if we open up?
I think, honestly, I just want to put out more content. I want more matches. I want more shows. I'm looking in on doing a small kind of a studio-esque kind of thing, circa NWA. So if that pans out, that's really going to be something that's going to be, I think, one of my favorite things. Like I said, I want to come to 365. I want to build up a cool stable. I want to go for the big gold. I don't think I've ever actually gone for the big gold, so I'm going to build somebody up and build a whole bunch of people up and see what we can do with regards to winning that. And I think I like the tuxedo match idea. So, Corey, I think
you want to fight me?
You're going to end up losing that. And even if I have to choose somebody to manage somebody else that you choose, whatever, I don't care. I'm gonna make it my mission to embarrass you.
If it's a tuxedo match, I just want to ask, gentlemen, are you boxers or brief?
Commando.
Oh, no. Oh, boy.
Okay, we'll say boxers. We'll do the boxers.
Nicky Martin, what are you thinking? I hope you're not thinking about...
I'm trying to get the horrible mental image that just popped into my head out of my head.
Did you just get some B-roll in there?
For the rest of my life now. So, yeah, as far as that goes, Mr. Osborne, I'm going to go with boxers. What does boxers have to do with wearing a tuxedo?
Because I'm going to rip the tuxedo off.
Match, yeah, you rip the tuxedo off to beat your opponent.
You have to talk to Nicky Martin very slowly, I'm learning here, so that he can understand.
Nobody's gonna know what it's gonna be, because it's gonna be like the shortest match in PWA history. You're gonna it's ridiculous.
Oh yeah. And
then you gotta fumigate the tuxedo you were wearing.
There's one time we had a strippers and violence match where it was Warhead versus myself, and we each had a stripper, and they were to lose. We had a person in our corner, and every time we got pinned, they had to take off some clothing. And just to give myself an advantage, Warhead brought out a lovely lady, and she looked great. I brought out Jesse Jones. And so if I got pinned 3 times, Jesse would be showing a lot of stuff. And just because I predicted I was going to do good things, I got Jesse starting his underwear. And the crowd it was one of my favorite moments, actually. And Warhead thought about just laying down and losing because he wasn't sure if the title meant that much to him. But that was a great time. That was in a different era. But once upon a time in PWA, we had strippers and violence.
Nice. That sounds awesome.
It was good times. Now, you guys never really lived the Elements era too much, did you?
No, I wasn't there for that. I see you have this great footage coming up. Great footage on 365 Pro Wrestling YouTube channel.
That's what I was going to say. You've been seeing the footage, though. What do you think about doing a more adult show?
Oh, I would love it. For sure. I love both. I love doing the shows for the kids, but I'd also like to get really down to it and do some adult shows.
For sure. I think that's the plan. We want to have a huge mix in 365. We want to do every kind of show. We love the family events too. Those are definitely our favorites. And then anything else we could do. The fair shows, unfortunately, this year we've been canceled just due to the virus and we can't have big gatherings. But next year we'll get back on that again. We'll start more shows. But right now I want to leave the floor to you guys. Can we settle this outside of a ring? Do we need to have another talk down the line? What can we do to make sure you two don't actually have to come to blows?
So, Nicky Martin, I know. I think you're looking for a reason to shut me up or take my spot or knock me down. You're jealous of my movies, which, by the way, anybody can go on IMDb and see what I'm up to. Nicky, if you want to challenge me somehow. Yeah. You want to challenge me somehow, or when live events come, or what do you want to do? I'll pick a guy and you pick a guy. We'll show who's the better manager, or you want me to beat you up in a tuxedo match or a diaper match, or, I don't know. What is it? What do you want?
Well, first of all, I don't want to take your spot. I just want to continually embarrass you going forward, you see. So you have to actually be there for me to do that. And secondly, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to issue a challenge right now. Whatever match you want, it doesn't matter what match you want. If you want against me, you can choose the stipulation. If you want to have a guy and another guy, or a girl and another girl, and we sit in the corners, that's fine by me too. But you're going to be in for a rude awakening, because the gentleman that's currently on top of my screen is going to be the guy that I picked to take your guy out.
Oh, I got some other things going on.
As long as it's not laundry day, right? If it's not laundry day, you'll show up, right?
I will be there with bells on.
You don't have to wear bells, Nicky. Just show up.
Eddie Osborne versus Corey Spade. You're a dead man walking.
I don't know if you know this, Corey, Nick. Me and Corey like to drink too. We have great times together. So
yeah.
You guys are both good brothers to me. I love you guys both.
He can drink through a straw. There's nothing saying he can't drink, and it would just be through a straw.
We like to have some beers together. I don't think we want to fight each other. That's the point here.
Exactly. That's the point on that one. But, gentlemen, let me know.
Talks, Eddie Osborne. I already know this going forward because of all the things that we've had the pleasure of doing in MCW. So that might change, because I know you have that ruthless streak, too, that I love.
100% I do. But where can people find you guys? Where can people who are listening today find you online? Where will they see you in the future?
You can find Nicky Martin at the food bank downtown, or at the soup kitchen. Salvation Army lineups, closed donation boxes as well at night. For me, you can find me on IMDb, or you can look at Facebook, Instagram. Go on the 365 Pro Wrestling YouTube channel. There's a lot of great stuff on there featuring me and a lot of the great talent that I've worked with as well. And, throw Nicky a sweater or something like that.
Laundry day.
First of all, I'm ignoring all of those remarks. Second of all, the food bank is awesome. You know how much awesome food I've stolen from the food bank, but we're not going to get into that. Thirdly, first of all, let me tell you something. You can find me at Nicky Martin MCW on Twitter. You can find me at official MCW1 if you want to check out the company. Magnificent Championship Wrestling on Facebook. Again, look at 365 Pro Wrestling. For the YouTube channel, there's probably some better stuff that doesn't involve Corey that might have me in it. And yeah, there's plenty of other things. Our website.
Why don't you plug your column? Yeah, why don't you plug your column you're doing? The column you're doing. You're writing a column every week. Why don't you plug that?
Oh, yes. You can check out The Magnificent Mind as well through our website. Again, that's mcwontario.com. The Magnificent Mind. We have the MCW magazine, where you can come on and you can see all of your favorites from 365, from MCW and beyond. By the way, Corey, if you ever get the cojones or the grapefruits, you could show up on the MCW magazine as well.
Oh yeah, I would love
Want
to.
another avenue to settle this score.
I've actually showed up at MCW shows, and you haven't talked to me, so we'll see.
Well, yeah. Well, I try to avoid talking to you. You see, you have to
I see that.
enjoy people that I talk to, and I find you to be taxing on my nerves. You know.
If you took some time though to get to know me, you would see what's in my great mind.
Oh, he's pandering to me now, Eddie. Look at this. Oh, that's cute.
All right, guys. Last remarks.
Please
Anything
like
you want to say to the fans?
Please like me.
To the fans, you know, I miss you all. I appreciate the messages you send me to ask how I'm doing. I hope you are all doing good, and I hope to come back and see you guys at a live event very soon. I can't wait.
To the fans, again, I hope you show up to more shows so I can, have some fun embarrassing Corey Spade and other people. Just to let you know, I appreciate the fact that I'm better than you all, and that's just how it is, and you're just gonna have to live with it. And Corey Spade's movies kind of suck, so I'd avoid IBMD or IMBD or whatever the heck he's on. And by the way, 365 Pro Wrestling, take a look, because that's quality, gentle folk of the world.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for coming on today. This is a different podcast than we usually do. We usually talk to one person, kind of talk about their story or some stories. Today was just combative. So we'll see what the people think about this, and maybe we'll do round 2 down the line. Thanks, gentlemen. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right. Thank you, Eddie. And long live 365 Pro Wrestling.
I agree with you, Mr. Spade. That's a rarity. Long live 365 Pro Wrestling.